Real talk, real people, relevant conversations. The I Am Kiana Skills podcast is dedicated to real conversations about issues, emotions, and experiences that affects the lives of everyday people.
I know that's right.
Welcome to the I Am Kiana Skills podcast. Welcome to the I Am Kiana Skills podcast, episode 17, sponsored by the Closet Experience Boutique and Delightful Cakes and Catering. I'm your host, Kiana Skills, and I have the influential Aquanette Cooper with me today, co-hosting.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey. Today we are talking about being worthy. Worthiness seems to be a big topic these days. So what exactly does it mean to be worthy? The root word of worthy is worth. To have worth is to have value. When someone is deemed worthy, it implies that the person is of importance or is significant. Don't get it twisted. Being or feeling worthy does not mean that you are above others. It simply means that you are aware that you deserve respect and that you have self-respect. Being worthy doesn't mean that you are perfect. As humans, we all have flaws and should embrace them because they are part of who we are. Please be aware that self-worth is not the same as self-esteem. Our self-esteem is derived from our abilities to our accomplishments, social positions, and things we deem to believe that we can achieve. We can bolster our self-esteem by improving our skills or performance, and our self-esteem goes up and down like a yo-yo, depending on how we're doing in various stages and aspects of our lives. Hello, Aquanette. How you doing today?
Doing well, thanks. How are you, Kiana?
I'm doing pretty good. It's another day, another episode.
Okay.
Let's talk to the people. So let's jump right into this episode and see if we can help the listener land understand that they have worth and value that deserves to have tax added to it.
I know that's right.
Yes, I know that's right. Lately, I have been hearing people say, know your worth and then add tax. Let me break that quote down for those of you that may not understand what the quote is saying. Know your worth, then add tax is a popular saying amongst the culture, and a great one, might I add. Not only does the quote advertise the importance of knowing your worth, but it wants to clarify that you are worth more than you even know, and that you should not be undervalued or discounted. For goodness sakes, y'all, you are a whole meal sometimes in this street and you acting like cheap snacks. Stop letting people treat you as such. Better yet, stop treating yourself as such.
This is true.
Yes, talk to him, Aquanette. Talk to him. Ooh, don't get it twisted or misconstrued. It is not about being ruthless or stubborn. It is simply about making yourself the number one priority in your life and standing firmly in that position. And when I say standing firmly, I'm talking about 10 toes down, that you're your number one priority. Aquanette, how do you feel about the quote?
The quote definitely hits home. I'll say that. Again, I'm always about transparency. It took me a while to understand my worth. It took me a while to understand that I am valuable. It took me a while to understand that my perspective is valuable.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it definitely hits home. And this is something that I would like, for our community to just really focus more on. And you did give a great definition of what worth is, because sometimes we do misunderstand what worth really is and how to operate in believing that we're worthy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Are you aware of your self-worth?
I am now. I can definitely say that. And I do know that I am not to be discounted.
Woo, I like that. Tell the people again, you're not to be what?
Discounted.
That's right, y'all. You have to know your worth. Before you can tell somebody that you're not to be played with or to be discounted or to be belittled, you have to know that you are worthy and what that value of your life looks like. Because without that, and you trying to tell somebody that, they just gonna look at you like, girl, whatever. But you have to stand 10 toes down and believe it. You have to exude that.
You do. You do.
If you acting all fickle about it, nobody gonna take you serious. You gonna be that snack I was talking about.
That's right.
You gonna be the difference between a cheap steak and a filet mignon.
Okay, filet mignon right here. Right here.
What'd you say? Over here.
Porterhouse. Don't get me started.
What you said? You either gonna be taken to Ruth Chris or somewhere else.
Steak and shake. No, thank you.
Tell them. Now, I eat a little steak and shake, though, but I do know my value. Okay?
Yes.
So, y'all, the beauty and fashion industry is very good at selling us superficial self-worth.
Ooh.
Now, don't act like you have never bought into it.
Ooh, come with it.
Yeah. Well, I certainly have from time to time. Have you?
Oh, yeah.
You done bought into it.
Too many times, yes.
Those industry insiders and advertisers tell us things like, be kind to your skin, care for your nails, restore and energize your skin. Your wardrobe deserves an overhaul. Let's look beyond the sales tactics, because in hindsight, they do raise a good point. Y'all know I'm always trying to think outside the box and put something together for y'all. So this is my take on it. You are not just worth a new lipstick from MAC or Fenty or a new handbag from Gucci or Telfar. Telfar, if I said that right. Telfar. Y'all know them little bags with the T on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't act like y'all booze yourselves don't know. Or whatever the latest fashion blog or magazine is trying to sell these days. Perhaps what they really are trying to communicate is that you are worth putting yourself first and splurging on yourself. Yes, you out there in listener land, you are worthy of choosing yourself first for once. Trust me, it's okay to do so. Being kind to yourself means doing what is best for you and prompting yourself to the number one spot in your life. I need y'all to say out there in listener land, I am number one.
I am number one.
Yes, and believe it when you say it. You gotta believe that you're number one. Because guess what? If you don't believe it, people are gonna be treating you like you're second, third, fifth place, or 100th place.
This is true.
So you have to know your value.
Yes.
It's so important. So by now, you're probably thinking, how do you actually gauge your self-worth? Okay, I'm going to help you out with that. I'm glad y'all out there in listener land was thinking that. So to gauge your self-worth, I would advise, now, I'm calling myself the expert today. And this is just some little advice I would give. I would say, ask yourself these series of questions. And I'm going to give you the questions so y'all can listen to this. And if you need to go back and take notes, feel free to. So these are some questions you can ask yourself. How much do you like, respect, and value yourself? Which words would you use to describe yourself to a stranger? When you self-reflect and think about yourself, are your thoughts generally positive, negative, or somewhere in between? Do you believe you are worthy of others' love, respect, and consideration? Asking yourself these questions can help you better understand how you see yourself and provide a sense of your own self-worth. Aquanette, have you ever gauged your self-worth? Or have you ever asked yourself, how much do you really like yourself? As well as how much do you value yourself?
I have. I definitely have. And to add to that, one of the things I did to evaluate who I was, I had to, ask myself, when I'm around people or in a situation, am I adding to or am I taking away from?
Ooh, are you adding or subtracting to?
To the situation. And I told myself I want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to help in resolutions.
You want to be an addition.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, those are some things that I would
have problem solved. You don't want to just.
Yeah. I don't want to just sit in the room and let everybody else do the work, if that makes any sense. So once I started noticing that was the type of person I am, I liked it.
Oh, wow.
So those are things that that was something I was proud of myself for. So it helped build my confidence and help me understand that that is valuable.
So it's safe to say you like yourself a whole lot. Matter of fact, you love yourself.
I love me. Yes.
Yes.
Look, I have a shirt.
And you know what's funny? You really do. It says, I love me more.
Hey.
Because you have to.
Yeah.
Hey, girl. Hey, you have to love yourself more.
Yeah.
How cute is that you have the shirt that says, I love me more? Okay,
Yeah,
girl.
I do.
I see you.
I do.
Like, it is so important, you know, that we do love ourselves.
Care of myself. Yeah. So, and those are ways that, you know, we have to take care of ourselves. We do have to reevaluate and then reevaluate again, depending on where we are in life. So, but the more I do that, the more I'm able to, you know, do those reflections and see, you know, what my worth is. And again, like I said, it makes me love myself even more.
Right.
Not that I'm being arrogant. At the same time, if I don't love myself, how do other people know how to love me?
Ooh, tell them that again.
If I don't love myself, how do I show other people how to love me?
Right. Because you have to be the first example that they see.
That's right. Yeah.
It's so powerful.
Absolutely.
So powerful. Because without that, nothing else really matters. Because people going to run over you.
They will.
They're going to treat you like a cheap, dirty mattress.
Oh.
Like a cheap. Ooh, baby. I come up with some stuff, won't I?
Yeah.
They going to throw you out like last week's trash.
That's right. Yeah.
It's just amazing to me when I see women that don't know their self-worth and don't know how to gauge it. Because I know in another episode we were talking about validation, and I told y'all that validation was for parking. But sometimes, believe it or not, there are people out there that have no clue or haven't defined to themselves who they actually are and what they possess. So all this talk about self-worth, that's what I was going to say. Let's back for a minute. I'm going to say this. Just because you don't know your self-worth is not a bad thing. That's why I was saying to ask yourself these questions. And matter of fact, I'm just going to go back and piggyback.
Yeah, let's go back
to those questions because there are some people. Now, I didn't always know myself. Like, you don't just come out the womb knowing. No, right. You know, as you grow, and it depends on your environment, what you're exposed to.
And your journey.
Yes, that speaks a lot to what that is. Now, I just want to be clear on that. So, we're going to go back to those questions that I was talking about to gauge your self-worth. So, these are the questions. How much do you like, respect, and value yourself? Which words would you use to describe yourself to a stranger? When you self-reflect and think about yourself, are your thoughts generally positive, negative, or somewhere in between? Do you believe you are worthy of others' love, respect, and consideration? Now, I want to touch on something. The words that I would personally use to describe myself to a stranger, I would tell somebody that I'm passionate, I'm a go-getter, I deem myself worthy of every opportunity that is presented to me, and that I am an inspiration to others. I would tell that person that I'm fully capable of standing alone. Like I don't need to be dependent on someone else. It's I would tell them it's nice to have other people, but I'm not going to be codependent on somebody.
Correct.
So it's a lot of things that I would say to people, but I just want to kind of touch that on the surface because I just want to give an example of how I see myself. And I noticed I didn't say I'm fearful.
Right.
I'm scared.
Right.
I didn't use any of those adjectives to describe myself because that says that I'm shaky and I'm unsure.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with this? Because, we're talking about on this episode being worthy. You can't charge tax on I'm scared or I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what to do, what to say.
Right.
What you think, girl?
Yeah, no, we're not doing
what you think. Now, it's okay. Now, I always like to be clear when I'm speaking. I'm not saying that you don't have to get input for others, because I do that. but I'm pretty capable of standing on my own. Sometimes you do want to run ideas. It's nothing wrong with that. So please, y'all, don't get it twisted.
But don't lean on it.
But don't lean.
Yeah.
There you go.
We
Don't lean on it.
Because that goes back to the validation.
Yes. Or that codependency that we
Yeah.
talked about before in an episode.
Yeah.
Where you're depending on somebody, you're going to always be. No, you got to know how to stand firm on you. Because somebody else can just tell you anything.
Yeah.
But you have to know that you're worthy.
That's right.
Like I said before, somebody can tell you something all day long, but if you don't believe it, like I can pray for you. And there's nothing wrong with praying for people. Please continue to pray for people. But the reality of God is hearing your prayer, but he's expecting that person to take action on that situation that they waddling in. Y'all ain't hearing me out there.
True. Yeah.
Because God is going to hear that prayer. But until that person
That's right.
decides. That's why they always telling, girl, pray for me. Pray. You're like, no, I ain't got to pray for you in this situation 1,000 ways. But you keep doing it. You keep sending up the prayer.
Yeah.
Because eventually, not only do you send that prayer, but you have a conversation with them to guide them, to let them know, hey, you're worthy, but I need you to believe. You keep pouring into that person.
That's what I was actually going to say.
Go ahead.
A lot of times we don't know our worth because we didn't grow up or we didn't have people in our lives that were pouring into us. So it's okay if you don't know it.
Right.
You just know that it is there and it's for you. So yeah, those are things that we definitely have to make sure, it's okay for the person, to ask for the prayer, like you say. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with a friend pouring into them.
Right.
But that's a part of accountability too.
Ooh, yes, we've talked about that on this podcast, accountability.
That's a part of that accountability. And, we all have our boundaries and our limits and things like that. But you just never know. Some people just have never seen what it looks like. So they don't know what having worth looks like. So you may be their first example of that.
Or they're their first encounter with, wow, she really knows.
And it doesn't matter how old you are.
Right.
Like, that's something we have to get away from also. We can't stay in they know and you should know and you're too old. No.
I was just going to say that. What's our favorite saying, y'all, in our culture? What's our favorite saying? They too old to be acting like, but maybe they really don't know.
Maybe they really don't.
I'll raise my hand. I'm guilty of saying that. They too old to be acting like that. But sometimes, like you said, what was their environment? Like, look beyond that. Pull them in, reel them in.
And just because you think somebody may look like they should know, it doesn't mean that they know.
Right.
People have done that with me before in the past. Like, well, Aquanet, no. How? Because you see all these other things. We all have areas in our life where we're not the strongest in.
I know what the kitchen is, but don't mean that I'm equipped to cook in that kitchen.
Exactly.
Y'all, I'm on a roll today.
But that's it. Yeah, sometimes nobody's been shown the example of what worth looks like.
Right. And before you can even get to talking about, like we said, charging taxes, you got to start at the base.
That's right, yeah.
Because some people I hear talking about their worth and charging taxes, and it's like, you just saying it to be saying it.
Right, where?
Because your life is a mess in shambles, from what I can see.
Yeah.
So make it make sense. You on the struggle. And it's not that, like, I'm not being negative when I say this. I'm saying all this to say that what you present out there has to add up. You can't tell me, girl, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then when it come down to it, you just faking the funk.
Right. You have
because I'm not paying tax. Right. You can't add tax to that. I need you to go back to the drawing board.
Right.
Go on and get the foundation and the fundamentals. But that's just a whole nother subject for another day. But I want to say this to you all. I want to turn to the right with this topic and veer over in the lane of giving the best you got. Now stay with me as I connect what we have already been addressing with another perspective to this worthy chat. To give your best means to put forth your maximum effort and dedication towards achieving a goal or completing a task. It means using your skills, knowledge, and resources to fulfill things to its fullest extent in order to achieve the most favorable outcome. Additionally, it means being fully present and engaged in the process rather than simply going through the motions. Y'all know sometimes we just go through the motions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, I told y'all to stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this. I know y'all probably like, what? Stay here. Don't change. Don't hit skip next, whatever it is out there. Stay with me because you're going to get some valuable information. Self-worth and giving your best can indeed go hand in hand. Here's how they are interconnected. Self-worth as a foundation refers to the value and respect you hold for yourself. It is an instrumental. I can't never.
Instrumental.
No, you know what? Intrinsic. That's the word I'm going with.
Okay.
I had to think for a minute what word I want to use. Yeah, every now and then I'm gonna throw some words out there. You know, I do got a little slight private school education and some education from their public school. So every now and then my mind be thinking I have to think of the word. But y'all know what that word is. Intrinsic.
Gotcha.
So the intrinsic belief in your own worth and abilities. When you have a strong sense of self-worth, you begin to recognize and in the inherent value as a person.
Yeah, I see that.
You become independent of external achievements or validation.
I like that.
This foundation of self-worth provides you with the confidence and motivation to strive for personal growth. There go your personal growth. That's you always talk about. Yep. So push you to give your best.
That's right.
Y'all see how I tell you they're giving your best.
I like that. Yeah.
To give your best. You need that foundation to go forward to give your best. See, striving for excellence, when you have a healthy sense of self-worth, you are more likely to set high standards for yourself. You believe that you are deserving of success and fulfillment.
Correct.
Which inspires you to give your best effort in various areas of your life. Whether it's pursuing a career, engaging in hobbies, or maintaining relationships. You strive for excellence because you recognize your own worth and want to make the most of your potential.
I like all of that.
Woo, my, they gonna learn today. Baby, they gonna learn today, Aquanet.
Yes, they are.
Listener land is gonna learn something. And if this is your first time listening to us, Listener land is our listeners. It's you guys. You know, you're our audience. You're who we're talking to. So keep on listening, Listener land, because you're gonna learn something. Trust and believe. Overcoming fear of failure plays a vital role in understanding your worth. Fear of failure can often hinder your ability to give your best. However, when you have a strong sense of self-worth, you are more resilient in the face of setbacks and failures. My today.
Yes.
You understand that your worth is not solely determined by external outcomes. You are more willing to take risks, learn from mistakes, and persevere.
Yes.
This mindset allows you to embrace challenges and give your best effort when the outcome is uncertain. So yeah, baby, that's going to be some uncertainties out there.
Yeah.
But you got to know how to navigate those waters.
Every day.
And just keep remembering who you are. And to always put your best foot forward. Yeah, you might break down in those uncertain times, but it's how you get up, how that posture looks. Baby, that posture is everything when you're going through.
It is.
Authenticity and fulfillment should not be overlooked. Let's talk about that real quick.
Okay.
Giving your best is closely tied to living authentically and pursuing what truly matters to you. When you have a solid sense of self-worth, you are more likely to align your actions with your values and your aspirations. This alignment brings a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction as you are investing your time, and your energy in activities that resonate with your sense of self-worth. By being true to yourself and giving your best in areas that are meaningful to you, you reinforce your self-worth and create positive cycles of growth and fulfillment.
Yes.
So basically, when we took this veer to the right that I took y'all on, I just want to basically let you know that I was alluding to that self-worth provides the foundation for giving your best efforts in various aspects of your life. It empowers you to set high standards, to overcome fear of failure, and to live the life that you have set up or that you have desired for yourself to live. When self-worth and giving your best go hand in hand, you are more likely to experience personal growth, fulfillment, and success. So, Aquanette, is there anything that you would add to that? Like, did I miss anything as I was veering over to the right and getting in the lane to talk about self-worth and trying to tie that all together?
I think you did a good job. Honestly, I did want to just reiterate, you know, setting better standards.
Okay.
That's something that we may struggle with when we don't understand our worth. So in order to do that, I think it goes back to, you know, just aligning yourself with the right environment to be in to understand your worth. So again, that just goes back to everything that you've already said, you know, and that goes with stating and setting your boundaries correctly. Because sometimes we may set boundaries and we move the goalposts, as they say. But
can I ask you a question? When you say you move the goalpost, so do we move it further or back? So, you know, like, explain that. Because I hear people say it, but I just want to make sure that I understand what that saying is.
My understanding of moving the goalpost is you set a boundary, but you're giving somebody a pass. And that means you're moving it further away.
That's okay.
Yeah. So and it's the same way as people. What did they used to say? You draw a line in the sand, and then they keep moving it, and they draw another line. They move it again. They draw another line. So they're not sticking with their boundaries. They're not upholding those boundaries. And when you're not doing that, you're not actually setting the better standards for yourself. And in order to do that, we have to find ways to align ourselves with an environment that's going to provide that for us, which goes back to, again, being around people that are going to pour into you so that you understand what your self-worth is. And, you know, even if there are people in our lives that haven't necessarily met those expectations for us, we have to learn how to change or manage our expectations so we don't go backwards and feel like, okay, well, I tried it. I knew I wasn't worthy. You know what I mean? So everything is a work. Everything is a process. So, yeah.
I kind of want to go back to that. So when you encounter somebody in your life that, like, let's go back to the drawing the line in the sand, but they keep saying extending that line or crossing that line. So we know our worth, we know all this. So why do we give them a pass? Like, why do we allow it? If we talk about we worthy and that we all of this, but all of us have done it.
Yeah.
So why do we allow it? Like, why do you think we allow that?
I think there's a fear that's there.
Is it a fear of losing the friendship, or you just don't want to be confrontational?
It could be a variety of things. It just depends on the person. It depends on what they're fearful of. And I know when I've been in those situations before, I feared losing that relationship because there was an attachment that was there. And a lot of times there are people in our lives, they're not bad people, but they're not good for our growth.
Ooh, say that again.
They're not bad people, but they're not good for our growth. And that's a hard pill to swallow.
So when you're evaluating your own worth, you have to also look at somebody else's worth to see if they're good enough to say, sit amongst your table.
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah. Because you want to be around like-minded people.
That's it, like-minded people.
And if you're not, and it could be somebody from your childhood, people can only take you so far.
Right.
And sometimes you're not on the same page. You know, I think somebody had said to me, you know, we're all in a similar race, but we take different routes in the race. And that made so much sense to me, because there was a time in my life where I thought me and this other person were really running the exact same race. We had the same purpose in mind. But what I didn't realize is that I'm very focused when I do anything that I'm committed to. So let's just say I'm very focused in this race, and I know it's a marathon. I'm a sprinter, but I know it's a marathon. I know how to stay focused. But the person that I thought was running the race with me, they took detours. They went off and got some water. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm using all of this, metaphorically.
So you talking about me, girl? Okay.
No.
Just say it. Say what you mean and mean what you say. No, I'm messing with her.
So because all of that was happening, it made me second guess our friendship, our relationship. Like, is this not as important to them? Because I thought it was worth the focus.
Right.
And they kept saying, well, it is worth the focus. But that was a weakness that they had. They kept getting veered off. They kept getting detours, distractions.
Oh, y'all, I think she be throwing shade.
No,
she
no shade.
Baby, see, y'all have to know our relationship. One day we going to have a meet and greet so y'all can meet us personally. But... yeah, these be jokes be coming out my mouth, but I be like, she throwing shade because, baby, I can't stay focused to save my life. I be over here distracted like a mug.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. But I know my worth.
Absolutely. But at the same time, when I was going through that friendship with that person, I didn't know my worth. So everything we were doing together, it validated that I was worthy. I was worthy of them spending this time. I was, and it was so backwards to think that way, when ultimately, like I said, I realized, well, I'm the one that's more focused. I got to do what I need to do that's going to make me feel better. And me getting upset every time they get distracted and veer off, they just want to finish the race last. I got to be there first. Like, that's the way I was thinking. I had a goal that I was trying to meet. And they said they had a goal they were trying to meet also, but they just had a different way of getting there.
And it's nothing wrong with having a different way of getting somewhere. Because it goes back to that, meet people where they are.
Right, yeah.
So we do have to be mindful of that. I say it all the time. Everybody's not going to be where you are.
It's true. And at the time, I think what was so refreshing is that they kept saying the things